Hi everyone, I am so sorry that I couldn't be with you guys in person today. I am still in quarantine. I'm feeling great, but I'm still in quarantine, so I am presenting to you guys on my philosophy of English studies via the YouTube. I am still super excited though. Um, I think that my philosophy of English studies was sort of birthed out of my relationship with literature and studying English as a child. Um, I definitely was one of those kids that you could not get to stop reading a book. You could not drag me away from anything that I was reading. If you told me I couldn't go to the library, I would throw a fit. I was obsessed with going to the library, and I would treat it almost as if it was this magical, mystical land that you could go to and travel to all of these different worlds and experience new things and meet new people and gain perspective and just learn. And honestly, I think that it was this foundational relationship with English studies that formulated in me the approach to studying English as an adventure. Um, Approaching English studies as an opportunity to explore the world around you and to explore yourself and how those two interact, to explore different perspectives and experiences and to see differently than how you would if you hadn't picked up a book or started studying. And I think throughout my college career, there have been a ton of different novels and pieces of literature that have solidified that viewpoint in me. And the first being Arthur Miller's The Crucible. I first read Arthur Miller's The Crucible the same year that Olivet put on the production. But I read it with a group of high schoolers in my field experience. And they were reading The Crucible in conjunction with their units in history on McCarthyism and the Red Scare and the Cold War. And it was watching the students make these deep, insightful connections between history and the difficult literature that we were reading that really helped me to understand the importance of historical context. I was definitely one of those people that was like, the important stuff is stuff on the page. I do not need to go and look at what was happening during the time it was written. I don't need to know about societal context and history. That's irrelevant. I just want to read the story. And the story of The Crucible is amazing. But when you go and you add in the historical context, it's just so much richer and more textured an experience. And I think that reading this book really deeply shifted my view on my philosophy of English studies and incorporated looking at historical context and the background on the author as an opportunity to explore the different ways that the author was interacting with the world at that point and the different ways that the world impacted the book and the characters and the setting and the context of society and culture at that time. And another book that I feel like relates to the impacts of society and culture was a book that I read this semester called The Hate You Give. This is my favorite copy. I have two. This is the collector's edition, and it is actually signed by the author. Boom bam. That's my favorite thing ever. But this book is about an African American girl who witnesses police brutality on one of her friends. And I read this during such a time of cultural and racial divide in our own country that I was able to really see how approaching English studies can impact how you view the world around you and how you interact with the world around you. This book really, really challenged my own implicit biases. It challenged me to look into myself and how I interact with not only just people that I meet, but even with my future students. And it sort of reinforced this idea that English studies is an opportunity to explore new perspectives and gain insight on different experiences than your own. This book really, really helped me do that as a white woman from rural Midwest America. I had no idea any of the cultural impact and significance of police brutality in the Black community, and this book really opened up my eyes to just how much literature in studying English can show us new perspectives and give us the opportunity to explore our different experiences and to change our own viewpoints and even to just challenge ourselves in how we interact with the world around us. And I also thought about a lot while I was reading that book how that would impact my students, how I would teach my students how to approach literature and studying English as an opportunity for adventure and exploration. And while I was sort of pondering that, I started reading this book, which is Jim Burke's Letters to a New Teacher. This book really impacted me while I was reading it because I was so conflicted about how to approach teaching these students. And this book really showed me that teaching and getting to that mastery stage of doing everything that you want to be doing and figuring it all out right at once was a process. It was somewhere where you take a million twists and turns and trial and error to get to. And reading this book was so incredibly impactful, not only on who I'm going to be as a future educator and what my teaching identity is going to be, but also as just someone who reads. The way that this was set up to speak into people's lives, to speak into teachers' lives, by taking just real letters between people and showing how impactful writing and reading and sharing experiences through literature can be. It was just a beautiful example of how reading things and exploring English studies can impact life, how you live, how you view the world, how you interact with the world, which I feel like ties in beautifully with this idea of approaching English studies as an opportunity to explore the world around you and an opportunity to experience adventure. And these three books, like a ton of other books that I have read, just really reinforce this idea to me that approaching English studies should be just exciting and exploratory, and your journey of reading and studying English should be eye-opening, and it should present you to new experiences, new cultures, new ideas, new people, and all of this just drawing back into the idea that English and studying English is an adventure, and it's my favorite adventure. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you all are applauding. Standing ovation. Thank you, curtsy, curtsy.